have no right to start something like this.
Doctor, like it or not, you are, if you'll permit the archaic phrase, a public enemy. The transcript of your trial is a public record, and you are consequently public property. So the only thing I have to answer to is my own conscience.
What's this going to prove? It's like playing with a load of dice. They're kids.
College graduates, Doctor. Some of the brightest minds in the country.
You've got 40 years' experience on them.
That doesn't weigh as much as the fact they hate me, Doctor. If I can get an acquittal from that jury, I'd defend you before the Spanish Inquisition. And all I ask is that you stay around and see what happens, Doctor.
The Fugitive. A QM production. Starring David Jansen as Dr. Richard Kimble, an innocent victim of blind justice, falsely convicted for the murder of his wife. Reprieved by fate when a train wreck freed him en route to the death house. Freed him to hide in lonely desperation, to change his identity, to toil at many jobs. Freed him to search for a one-armed man he saw leave the scene of the crime. Freed him to run before the relentless pursuit of the police lieutenant obsessed with his capture.
The guest stars in tonight's story, Kathleen McGuire, Robert Dreyfuss, and special guest star, Ed Begley. Tonight's episode, Man in a Chariot.
Is Richard Kimble, and not surprisingly, the man is tired. Tired of looking over his shoulder, of the ready lie, of the buses and freight trains. And Richard Kimble is tired of running.
Jury trials render the administration of justice rather haphazard. No. You have been apprised, of course, that there is a trend.
No, they talk like people.
In some cases, some minor cases, and the results have been very satisfactory.
Rubbish.
Would you care to amplify that statement, Professor Lazer?
I said rubbish. I think that covers it.
Well, now we're getting somewhere. Look out, buddy.
My method of dealing with ignorance is to label it as such and avoid getting soiled by it.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid we're getting off the subject.
If you consider that hit and
Who is that, the old man?
But
That's G. Stanley Lazer. Oh, I forgot. You're not a local. He teaches out at the college. He used to be just about the biggest mouthpiece around.
He wrote an article for one of our more...
I think I remember his name.
...magazines. I quote, "Take, for example, the cases of the Farjon kidnappers, the notorious ice woman Barbara Creel, the Babcock brothers, Richard Kimble, or even Frank Dietrich. I have no doubt that if I were able to represent these defendants before another jury, I would be able to obtain for each an acquittal, or at worst, a hung jury."
Don't bet against it.
Now, Professor Lazer, this doesn't sound as if you place much faith in our 12 good men and true.
I place a great deal of faith in myself, Mr. Eller, and very little in the persuasive powers of circumstantial evidence. The way I see it, a judge is one man. A jury is 12 men. Either can be swayed one way or the other. But only the jury can disagree. Consequently, I prefer a jury.
With a better chance for the guilty...
Is this, Lazer as good as he says he is?
Perhaps that isn't important.
Maybe better. Did you ever hear of the Martin Collins case?
Gentlemen, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
That kid was sitting on death row. Lazer got him a new trial and then an acquittal.
Gentlemen, for appearing on this
I thought you said he was out at the college.
He had some sort of an accident about 10 years ago. I guess it put him out of action.
Of course, Professor G. Stanley Lazer from the University.
Now, gentlemen, I have here in my hand your midterm examinations. I see you suddenly grow apprehensive. No reason, gentlemen. But if I hadn't administered the examination myself, I would be forced to conclude that this test had been taken by a group of freshman art students. Quiet! Good. And I think we should dedicate that moment of silence to the innocent men who will be coming to you for help.
Think you can get me off if I killed him?
I could get you elected governor.
You had a phone call about 15 minutes ago. Someone who saw you on the TV show. His number's on your desk, but he wouldn't leave a name.
Hello?
This is Professor Lazer.
Professor, did you mean what you said last night about being able to get a different verdict in some cases?
Who is this?
Did you mean it?
Of course. Now, who am I talking to?
Look, can I meet you someplace?
I'll be at my office until 5.
And that won't do.
Well, then I'm sorry.
Look, I'd like you to get on the 8 o'clock train for Harrisburg. Get off at Lancaster. I'll meet you in the waiting room.
You expect me to go through that kind of hocus pocus for someone who won't give me his name?
Professor, if you think for a minute why I can't.
The 8 o'clock train.
I'll see you tonight.
Lancaster, next stop. Lancaster.
Don't get up. Go right on for a few stops. I'm sorry I didn't know about those.
You didn't know about her either, did you?
I'm Professor Lazer's secretary.
Nancy Gilman. She stays.
All right.
Now, why did you telephone, and what do you want from me?
I want your help. But I want you to tell me that there's no legal help I can get.
You better know something right now. I haven't got any one-armed man to pull out of a hat.
The other people Professor Lazer talked about on the show are either dead or in places where it's difficult to reach a telephone.
Stop fidgeting. She's been with me for 15 years.
All right, what happens next?
First, you'll need grounds for new appeal. And then, well, you'll have to go through it all again. Judge, the jury, the whole thing.
And how sure are you that you can get me an acquittal?
I have to examine the transcript.
But last night, I mean, he quoted...
I'm familiar with your case. I haven't memorized it.
I see.
You want help or not?
It's my neck. I can't just toss a coin.
I'm better than that. I've never lost a capital case.
Isn't there something you should ask me?
What's that?
Whether I'm guilty.
What's the difference? I'm not a judge. I'm a lawyer.
If we take just the first step, see if there's a chance for a new trial.
And leave the rest of it open? All right. Well, it looks like we've come a ways.
been waiting to talk to you.
Good morning. I'm late.
Dr. Kimble.
Do you mind using hey, you, or fella from now on?
I'm sorry, but I want to talk to you.
Going the same way.
Before you go in there.
I'm late. I have an appointment with him.
How long are you going to stay here and go on with this?
I don't know.
If anyone finds out about you, he'll be subject to criminal prosecution and disbarment. As long as you're here, he's in danger, and I don't like that, Dr. Kimble. Sorry, fella.
And then talk to him about it. He took the case. He knows the dangers. Excuse me.
He took this case because he thinks he's been turned out to pasture and he hates it. You represent his chance to get back in the arena. And the way he's working at it might just kill him.
I don't want anyone to suffer. But I have to stay.
Doctor, don't you see the chance you're taking here?
Look, Miss Gilman, I'm fighting for my life.
I'm fighting for his. And I'm not going to lose.
Well, maybe I misunderstand your duties as his secretary.
Good. We're running late, and I've got a couple of things to tell you. I've pinpointed enough technical error to convince any appellate court in the country. There's the nucleus of a brief that'll put you right back in the dock whenever we want you there. Well, what's the matter? That's what you wanted, isn't it? At least part of it.
And maybe it's all I'm entitled to. Maybe I should settle for this and go.
I know you don't want to stand trial again, and I don't blame you. Dr. Kimble, you were convicted on circumstantial evidence, and I'm going... Nancy, I'm going to show you what happens to circumstantial evidence when an expert grabs hold of it.
How do you go about that?
Come along. Classroom exercise. I assure you it's perfectly safe, and you won't find it dull. Nancy will show you a maintenance closet opposite the classroom. You can watch from there. All right, gentlemen. Let's see what you've been able to put together.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Superior Court of Stafford County, State of Indiana, is now in session. The Honorable Charles G. Tyler presiding. This court will hear case number 33972, case of Indiana versus Richard Kimble.
Now, Mr. Gould, you are representing the prosecution. Are you prepared to state your evidence?
I am.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. You can step down now. State would like to call as its next witness Miss Althea Redford.
Counselor, I think we'll have to hold Miss Redford over until tomorrow. That is, if she doesn't mind.
She never has.
If there are no objections, I'll recess this court until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Mr. Gould, I'd like to remind you that you are supposedly conducting the prosecution in a murder trial, not hosting the Rose Festival. Your job is the introduction of evidence, not the entertainment of your audience. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's all. I'll see you in my office at 1 o'clock, Mitchell.
You know what I think sometimes? That when they tried Capone, they had the wrong guy.
Nancy, it looks as though this gentleman has something to tell me.
You had no right to start something like this.
Doctor, like it or not, you are, if you'll permit the archaic phrase, a public enemy. The transcript of your trial is a public record, and you are consequently public property. So the only thing I have to answer to is my own conscience. I'll be counseling the defense in there, and I guarantee the quality of the prosecution. A dry run under laboratory conditions.
Well, what's this going to prove? It's like playing with loaded dice. They're kids.
College graduates, Doctor. Some of the brightest minds in this country. Young Gould, for example, has one of the best heads for the law that I've ever encountered.
Well, you just tore him apart, isn't it?
He's bright. He's also arrogant, disrespectful, and supercilious. Don't confuse his abilities with his attitude.
You've got 40 years' experience on them.
That doesn't weigh as much as the fact they hate me, Doctor. If I can get an acquittal from that jury, I'd defend you before the Spanish Inquisition. And all I ask is that you stay around and see what happens, Doctor.
It was a funny feeling standing in there just now.
Through a glass darkly.
I guess that's it.
10 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, I did cover it. The whole 4 weeks. I don't know, there may be a story there, maybe not. Okay, I appreciate the tip anyway. Thanks, Sarge. I'll see that quarter. What have you got?
Curve, ladies.
Case is over.
Kept the kicker?
Always.
Oh, what was the tip?
Oh, Pulaski got a call from the Indiana police. Seems our friend Stanley Lazer sent away for a copy of the transcript of the Richard Kimble case.
Yeah? Why?
Well, that's what Indiana wants to know. They've heard of Lazer. Turns out he only wants for a mock trial or something. You know, classroom stuff.
Think it's worth a feature?
I don't know. There could be a story there.
Yeah. Especially if they electrocute the kid who's playing Kimble.
Are you kidding? They'll have to let him escape.
Listen, it'd be just like that old man to have Kimble stashed in his hip pocket.
Come on, it's your play.
All right. Dr. Gary, could this act have been performed by a man with one arm?
Objection. There's been no testimony admitted with respect to any one-armed man.
Overruled.
Professor Lazer, if we're to abide by procedure, we're going to have...
Welcome, gentlemen. Come in. Make yourselves comfortable. Answer the question as phrased, Dr. Gary.
Yes, I suppose it would have been possible, but it would have been much more difficult, especially if she resisted.
Doctor, isn't it true, Doctor, that when a man loses a limb, he develops unusual and compensatory strength in the remaining limb?
Certainly we have new counsel.
Yes, I suppose so.
And a woman who had been drinking, and we shall introduce evidence to prove that Mrs. Kimble had been drinking. Such a woman would have her ability to resist considerably lessened. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Well, that might depend on the amount she'd consumed. A small amount
At least 6 martinis in an hour and a half.
Objection.
On what grounds, Mr. Gould?
May I approach the bench?
What's the matter?
I'm not sure. But as far as I can remember, it never came out at the trial how much the lady drank. Or what.
Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Lazer, would you also approach the bench?
You're dismissed, young man.
In a moment, Professor Lazer. Mr. Gould claims that there's nothing in the transcript or in the available information to substantiate your allegations with respect to Mrs. Kimble's drinking.
I think 6 martinis is a reasonable assumption.
Your Honor, reasonable or not, we're obliged to stick to the facts as brought out in the original trial. The only evidence we have was the defendant's statement that his wife had been drinking some. That's all he said.
I'll sustain your objection, Mr. Gould.
I'd like to move for an adjournment until tomorrow.
But we still have time.
Adjourn the court, young man.
Adjourned until tomorrow morning.
Professor Lazer. Not now.
Oh, Mr. Gould, I'm Art McNeil with the Herald. I wonder if I could ask you a few questions.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask Professor Lazer, but maybe you could help me. Why did he pick the Kimble trial for this?
Why not?
Who is it?
Lee Gould. I'd like to talk to you.
When?
I saw you at the class this morning.
How'd you know where I live?
Followed you. I was a sophomore when they tried Richard Kimble. I know I'm prosecuting him now, and I've got a good case, but somehow I always felt he should have gotten off. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I didn't think he was guilty.
Why tell me about it?
Well, I've done a lot of research on the case, newspaper files, stories, pictures, everything. They even sent a reporter back to Indiana from here, Art McNeil. He was there this morning. Writing a story, I guess, I don't know. I don't think he could learn anything if things go on the way they have been going. I thought you'd be interested.
Mr. Gould. Thanks for dropping by.
Find anything? In a way. At least I was right about nobody even mentioning martinis. What about you?
I thought you'd never asked.
All right, I asked.
3.5 weeks ago, Kimble was spotted in Lexington. That's 364 miles from this desk. How about that?
Yeah, how about it?
But I was only waiting for the right time. Yes, that's right. But I want them to stay out of the way. I don't want any confusion. Yes, Ted, it will be an interesting experiment. Tomorrow, yes. Thank you.
I'm leaving. Came to say thank you.
You said that on the telephone. If you meant it, you wouldn't be here.
You said you had an idea on the phone and then you hung up.
And you want to know about my idea?
Well, I would like to know what kind of an obstacle course I have to run to get out of here.
One of the cardinal rules of victory, young man, is never to turn your back on the enemy. Now, hold on now. Hear me out. Tomorrow can be decisive in that classroom. Not for them. For us, you and me. Nancy's gone to find you a different hotel room. Secondly, if Gould were any threat, he wouldn't have come to see you. Thirdly, no one need see you tomorrow. You can watch from right in here.
What do you mean I can watch?
Ted Masters, the head of the television department, has been after me all year to let his kids have a crack at televising one of our mock trials. I gave him permission to do so tomorrow. It really isn't you they're after anyhow. They want to haul me through the mud. Don't miss it, Doctor.
You have a new hotel room. Here's the address.
Dr. Kimble, you claimed as part of your alibi that at the time of the murder, you were at the river where you saw a boy fishing. Is that right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yet you just heard that boy testify he didn't see anyone at the river. Would you not like to change your testimony?
No.
You had, however, been to that portion of the riverbank before.
I suppose so. Yes.
And isn't it possible that on some previous night you might have seen the same boy and had remembered him?
No, I only saw him that night.
Oh, come on, Doctor. Are you sure you haven't seen that boy before? I mean, you'd been there before, he'd been there before. Isn't it possible you might have seen him?
Objection. The boy never testified that he'd been there before.
He's been there 3 or 4 times a week.
Your Honor, counsel is out of order.
Look, I can call that boy back on the stand and make him testify he's been there 3 or 4 times a week.
You already dismissed that witness, and now you're trying to put words in his mouth.
In the interest of justice, I think I'll allow Mr. Gould to continue.
His actions are outside the scope of proper cross-examination, and I demand that both questions and answers be stricken.
Mr. Lazer, the court, if it wishes, can call the boy back for questioning. Therefore, I'll overrule your objection. You may continue, Mr. Gould.
Mr. Tyler, I'm telling you that this line of questioning is out of order, and I'm instructing you to sustain my objection. Mr. Tyler?
Objection sustained.
I'd like to tell this court.
Yes, Mr. Gould.
Forget it.
I think we'll adjourn until 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Just a minute, Mr. Gould. I think it's time you learned a few things about how to conduct yourself as a man and as a lawyer. Right now, you're not much of either. You're surface bright, Mr. Gould, like those children's toys they make now. But they break easily. They snap between your fingers. The least amount of pressure and they're in pieces on the floor. They're just toys, Mr. Gould, not the real thing. You know why? Because they haven't got the strength. They're just like you, Mr. Gould. They don't have the insides. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Gould? They're cheap, and they're infantile, and they're gutless.
The name is Gould.
All right. What's everybody getting so excited about? It's only a game, isn't it?
A game? Ask him if it's a game.
Some company?
Might not be back for quite a while.
It's okay with me.
Get in.
No, I haven't seen him, but it figures he's around somewhere.
You mean it's only a hunch?
Oh, sure, it's a hunch. But you know, old Lazer's always trying to give some sleeping dog a kick in the head. And then there's that business about drinking, right? It figures he must have got that from Kimble himself.
Nah, he could have made that up.
Oh, come on, Pulaski. Just add it up, will you? And then toss in that Lexington tip. Oh, now I'm finally coming across. I'm doing you a favor, you cretin. Yeah, they'll be here all afternoon. Okay? Okay. He's a nice cop, and he must take thick pills.
He's going along.
At the risk of my neck, if he comes up empty.
And it wasn't as if my father were a lawyer or anything. As a matter of fact, he was a salesman. You want to hear the topper? You ready? He was a toy salesman. Funny, huh?
Why the law?
Well, there was never any question of anything else. Except kids grow up with Robin Hood or Monte Cristo. With me, it was always Earl Stanley Gardner or famous jury trials. So when it came time to choosing a law school, there wasn't any question. Wherever G. Stanley Lazer was going to teach, that's where I was going to be. You know that he even worked with Darrow once?
Well, there are some people that said that Darrow wasn't such a saint either.
Yeah, but I wasn't looking for a saint. I wasn't looking for a father either, if that's going to be your next bit. Look, I'm not going to bore you with a lot of junk about a young man trying to find himself or anything. I needed something to hold on to. An image, if you want to call it that. That was Lazer. You know what I mean? I mean, that was me. It's as though you were looking in a mirror all your life, and what you saw you liked. And in the morning you woke up and you realized you'd been looking into a funny mirror. You know, the kind they use in an amusement park. And then when you really see yourself as you are, as you really are, it makes you sick.
Well, I guess you believe what he said this afternoon was the truth. Well, no, he must have been right, because when the pressure was on, you walked out.
What do you care?
I need you in that courtroom, Mr. Gould. You know what he's trying to do. He's trying to prove to me that he can get me off in a new trial.
Yeah, I figured that.
Look, he's an old man. He's bitter. Yeah, he's bitter, but maybe he has a reason. The fact is that he picked you because he thought you'd give him a fight. When he took the boxing gloves off in that courtroom this afternoon, you turned around and you ran.
He was hitting below the belt, you knew that.
Well, then hit back. What do you think a murder trial is?
You know, what you're asking me to do isn't easy. I mean, going back in there after this.
Nothing's easy. You want a little advice? Just don't look in a mirror, any kind of a mirror, ever again in your life, because you're not going to like what you see if you don't go back.
You want to ride back?
So I paid for the beer.
Sorry for it, I know it.
Is he?
He's put all his hopes in this case, and it's going badly.
I'm supposed to go in there and hold his hand. Dear Mr. Chips, we're so sorry you're old and mean. But we love you anyway. Is that the way it goes? He's back.
A masochist.
You know that boy actually worshipped you? God knows why, but you were the man he wanted to be. In fact, he was so hung on the legend of the great G. Stanley Lazer that he believed everything you said in there this afternoon was true. He was angry, but he believed what you said.
Where was I wrong?
I'll tell you where you were right. You said he was good. Yeah, he's good. In fact, he's so good that he's making the great Stanley Lazer look bad.
My trial's not over yet.
He's winning.
I don't know that he's winning.
Yes, you do. One for that wounded vanity of yours, you'd be proud of.
Of Gould?
What? You mean? I mean, good lawyers don't just happen, do they? Just think about it. Could have done for him if you try.
I am not a teacher. I did not choose this life. I was damned to it just as you were to yours.
I heard about your accident. I know how it affected your health.
Cost me my health and cost me my wife. And let me tell you, Doctor, I was not driving that car. My wife was driving, and she lost control and she was killed because she was not sober. How do you think I know about a neglected wife's capacity for martinis? Perhaps I didn't indulge her, but I loved her too much to lose her that way. And I loved my profession too much to be cut off like this. To rot in a classroom, playing nursemaid and teacher to a bunch of kids.
It's not those kids' fault that you are 70 years old. They didn't drive the car. They didn't put you in that wheelchair. But you won't put the blame where it belongs, will you? So they're guilty. No trial, nothing. Guilty. And what are they guilty of, Professor? Of being young? Are they guilty of wanting to be what you were? What, are they guilty of trespassing on some private little kingdom of yours? Just what are they guilty of?
You would have made a good lawyer yourself, Doctor.
You didn't even hear me.
I heard. Are you all through?
I'm sorry.
Trial will be starting in a few minutes. You better get back.
The state has proved its case beyond any reasonable doubt. Richard Kimble did willfully and deliberately take the life of another human being, his wife. Therefore, he must pay the penalty as demanded by the law. It matters not that he is a member of an honorable profession, a doctor whose very oath binds him irrevocably to the preservation of human life, yet he brutally and wantonly destroyed a human life. Because I believe so strongly in the principle of equal justice under the law, I have no doubt that after due deliberation, you will bring back the only possible verdict. Guilty of murder in the first degree.
I want to call Pulaski again. Maybe I can light a fire.
Gentlemen, I am forced to say that the state has presented a very strong case. And it has presented that case in a thoroughly skillful manner. True, each element in the state's case is based wholly and completely on circumstantial evidence.
Here we go.
But it is also true that we have been unable affirmatively to refute such evidence except through the testimony of the defendant himself. And this has not been enough. I suppose I should take this opportunity to attack the state's case in some slashing display of rhetoric, to cloud the real issues with some sort of legalistic double talk. However, the district attorney has left little room for this. And I have too much respect for the intelligence of you gentlemen to expect success from such tactics. But I should like you to consider, if you will, the defendant himself. What manner of human being are we judging here today? A member of one of the great professions, he now stands before this court even as the most humble supplicant. And what he asks from you is only this: compassion. He's a man whose very vocation demanded a dedication far beyond that required of the ordinary man.
He's not talking about Kimble.
He never was.
He has no one now. His wife, a lonely woman, taken from this earth in a pointless, insane moment of violence. And though the woman was dead, still
Gentlemen of the jury, it is now my duty to instruct you in the law applicable to this case.
Took your time. Where is he? Well, he's not in the courtroom, but I got an idea. Come on.
You should remember that the district attorney must have done more than establish the defendant's guilt by a preponderance of evidence. He must have done so beyond a reasonable doubt. On the other hand, the mere fact that the district attorney's case is based primarily on circumstantial evidence should not cause you to minimize such evidence or to give it less weight than you would direct or eyewitness testimony.
Sorry, can't leave the courtroom.
You may, in your discretion, and if you find against the defendant, include in your verdict a recommendation with respect to the sentence.
Hey, buddy, would you do me a favor? My girl's in the back over there in front of the cop, and her sorority'd really get a kick out of it if they could see her on television.
You understand?
Kids say they got about a dozen sets all over the campus, but there's 3 of them right here in this building.
But it shall weigh heavily in my determination. The bailiff will now escort you gentlemen to the place where you will commence your deliberation.
Thanks,
If you have any questions with respect to the facts presented in evidence or the applicable law, please notify him and the available information will be sent in to you.
Lazer's office was still warm. The secretary claimed she was using it.
Take the door. Johnson and Carver, let's get out of here. Look, if he was around here, which I doubt, he's had plenty of time to get away. Now, I'm not going to take a dozen men off their job just because you've got some hunch. And the next time you get one of your great ideas, call somebody else, huh?
I understand he started out as a crosswalk guard. I'll bet he was good at it. Come on, let's go.
Gentlemen, have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor. Didn't take long.
Will the defendant rise and face the jury? What is that verdict?
We find the defendant not guilty.
Then you're sure you don't want to go through with it?
You know as well as I do that verdict yesterday was mine, not yours. They were letting me off. You won the case for me. I couldn't win in a real courtroom for you. Young Gould proved that.
Why not?
An intangible, Doctor. There's some kind of chemistry that works against you. You, a doctor, accused as you are. You're going to have to find your one-armed man.
Well, then you do believe I'm innocent?
Of course. I'll get going. I've got a few young minds that need twisting.
Thanks, Professor.
Thank you.
Town, another name. Research continues, and Richard Kimble now knows beyond any doubt that it must continue. There is no resting place for a fugitive.
The Fugitive.